Assalamu alaikum, dear scholars. Welcome to Consumer Behavior Lecture 1, Consumer Behavior and Marketing Strategy. The material is covered from the book Consumer Behavior Building Marketing Strategy. That is chapter number 1, Consumer Behavior and Marketing Strategy. The learning objective of this chapter is define consumer behavior, summarize applications of consumer behavior, explain how consumer behavior can be used to develop marketing strategy, explain the components that constitute a conceptual model of consumer behavior, and finally discuss issues involving consumption meanings and firms' attempt to influence them. So, how do we define consumer behavior? According to this current text, consumer behavior is defined as the study of individuals, groups, or organizations and the processes they use to select, secure, use, and dispose of products, services, experiences, or ideas to satisfy their needs, and the impact that these processes have on the consumer and the society. So, this is a very broader view of consumer behavior. It leads us to examine more indirect influences on the consumption decisions, as well as what are the consequences that involve more than just purchasing and selling. Traditionally, there was a more emphasis on the immediate antecedents and consequences of purchasing processes, but as the field has evolved, there is a greater emphasis on the indirect effects as well and the consequences that the consumer behavior has on the society and the firm as well. Throughout this course, we will explore the factors and trends that shape consumer behavior and the way marketers and regulators can use this information. First, let us understand some key aspects regarding consumer behaviors, which are very important in order to understand the whole discipline in entirety. First of all, consumer behavior is a complex, multidimensional process. We need to understand that consumer decision making is not a simple steps. It involves very numerous steps, and there are multiple or host of factors that can affect this decision, such as the demographics, the lifestyle of the person, its impact, the cultural impact, the impact of family. Then these are external factors. Now there are some factors that are internal factors as well that emerges from the personalities, that emerges from the perceptions, that emerges from the attitudes towards the project. So there's a it's a complex and multidimensional project process, and it's not never easy to make a choice. Secondly, successful marketing decisions by firms and other non-profit organizations and regulatory agencies, they required an understanding of this process, the underlying consumer behavior process, in order to be successful in their marketing strategies, in order to be more productive. So they need to understand the theories that why consumers act in a certain way, what are the motivations that make them purchase a thing and make them not purchase a thing, and on what basis they do make their decisions. So it's important that firms need to understand, and sometimes there is a difference in marketing strategies. Some have for example, as you can see on the screen, that these are ads for two different airlines, and it's you can see that there is a lot of difference. uh, these advertisements are actually targeting the same consumers and very similar product. Their approach is very different, so it is based upon their own assumption about the consumer and how they want to influence it. Third important thing is that for any successful marketing decisions and to understand consumer behavior, the firms or organizations required to collect information about the consumers uh, who are making the decisions, who are making those purchase decisions, or who are related to those products. So consumer decisions are heavily influenced by the situation and the category of the product. So consumer research is very important and very necessary to understand how specific consumers will behave in a specific situation for a given product category. And marketing research is actually part and parcel of consumer behavior. So if you want to understand consumer behavior in entirety, you need to also learn how to do marketing strategy. Finally, ethical issues play a very important role because marketing practices that are designed to influence consumer behavior involves the ethical issues that affect the firms, the individuals, and the society as a whole. So these issues are not always very obvious, and many times there are many trade-offs at different levels. For example, the fast food industry is currently dealing with such issues. Their products are actually highly desirable to many consumers because the taste, because of affordability, they tend to be high in calories, high in fats, high in sodium. So these health related issues are actually they are actually attention of many governments. They are under attention of many consumer groups and many trust groups that actually are considering that they should change these eating habits, and they should, they're because impacting the society as a whole. So to summarize these four key aspects of consumer behavior, first of all, it's a complex multidimensional process. Secondly, successful marketing decisions means firms understand this process. Third, firms needs to collect information about the consumer for marketing strategy. And fourth is ethical issues are always involved in marketing practices that are designed to influence the consumer behavior. Now let us understand some applications of consumer behavior. First and foremost, uh, the knowledge of consumer behavior helps to make decisions or marketing strategies which are based on so consumer behaviors, assumptions, theories, research. So these marketing strategies are more likely to be successful than those which are based upon some hunches or some intuition. So how do we define a marketing strategy? It refers to a long-term plan formulated by a business to achieve some specific organizational objectives. The plan details how the business will reach its target market and the exact process it will follow to turn potential customer into actual consumers of the company's products and services. So there is a competitive advantage of those firms who are actually using these consumer behaviors related theories and assumptions to develop their marketing strategies. And it is a primary goal of our this consumer behavior course is to help the uh, our scholars to understand that how they can put these consumer behavior theories into a managerial use so that they can become a more effective marketing managers. The second application of consumer behavior is because nowadays there are various regulatory bodies who are exist to safeguard the interest of the consumers. So these regulatory policies they are able to understand if they have the knowledge of these consumer behaviors, theories and assumptions. And there are multiple types of policies which are designed to protect and aid customers. Either it is related to some drugs, it relates to the food, it is related to the environment. So, effective regulation of many marketing practices basically requires an extensive knowledge of consumer behavior related to the consumer society's benefit and individual benefit, which are regulated by the regulatory policies. Either it can be through some government or it can be through some agencies that exist to safeguard the rights of consumers. Then marketing is an important aspect of consumer behavior because what is social marketing? It is the application of marketing strategies and tactics that are designed to alter or create behaviors that have a positive effect on the targeted individual or the society as a whole. So when we talk about this social marketing, we understand that it is that aspect of the consumer behavior which relates to well-being of the consumer as a whole. So it's not about selling the products only; it's also about the well-being of the consumer that is related to the society nowadays. Either it's the environmental well-being, either it is the concept of vaccination, either it's the concept of some disease. So if you are able to understand what makes a successful social marketing strategy, you need to have a sound understanding of the consumer behavior. Many non-profits as well as commercial firms are involved into social marketing. And as shown in this ad, firms such as Amazon, they have attempted to influence consumer consumption pattern using the concept of social marketing, as they have leveraged their Kindle by inducing the love of books among students, among children. And this is also one of the ways in which they have tried to maximize their chances of success using the social media marketing tactics. Final application of consumer behavior, and that's one according to my point of view is very important, is to understand how the whole marketing and consumer attraction works, and how these marketing strategies are actually affecting the consumption the society, because nowadays we are living in a consumption based societies. So there are many individuals who are actually involved in these consumption activities, and everything is based upon our consumer our decisions to consume something. So how these ads work, how these websites and how these social media is actually attracting us to different products, how online marketing is attracting us to different products, how digital marketing is attracting us to different products. So if you're informed about all these concepts of consumer behavior, you will understand how the whole system of marketing work, and how you can safeguard yourself from something that is a false advertisement, how you can safeguard yourself from something that may attract you, but at the back end it is something that is not good for you, or not good for your health, not good for your well-being. So informed individuals means that consumers accurately understand the strategies and tactics that are being used on them, so they can be more effective consumers. So I'm going to end this part one of consumer behavior and marketing strategy, chapter number one, with this flow chart, which explains how marketing strategy and consumer behaviors go hand to hand. Because the application of consumer behavior obviously involves the development and regulation of marketing strategy, and it is a very simple concept because it starts with an analysis of the market, uh, the analysis of the company, the analysis of the competitors, the analysis of the condition, the analysis of the consumers, and then it goes to the definition of the market segments. So these market segments can be defined in terms of the demographics, in terms of different characteristic of the consumers. For example, we identify the product related need sets of the consumers, then we group consumers with a similar need sets, then we describe each group, and then we select the segment that we want to target, which is attracted to us. And then the marketing strategy composed of the product, price, the distribution, which we can say is the whole product. Because when we are going to provide customer value, it is a difference between the benefits they derive from the product and the cost that they acquire. So in the case that marketing strategy, the whole product consists of, it's more than the product itself. The whole experience consists of how these products, price, distribution, promotion, services are basically strategized in the market strategy, and we're going to discuss in detail in the part two of this chapter number one. And then comes to consumer decision process. When we say that consumer have to make decisions, so it's not an easy or a straightforward concept, because this decision process also consists of many steps. The problem that they are facing, consumers, why they want to purchase that product, what is the need, what are the wants, and then they search for the information for the related products. Then some what are the alternatives that are available, and then they're going to purchase a product, they're going to use the product, they're going to evaluate the product, and in some cases they're going to dispose of the product as well. And finally, when we talk about the outcomes, these outcomes of any sale or any uh, sale and purchase decision affects the individual. What are the effects of individual? So is some need being satisfied, and they have also made some expense. So what is the effect on them, and what is the change in attitude? And then for the society, we see that the accumulating effect of this whole marketing process, how it affects the economic growth, how it affects the social welfare, how it affects the pollution. And obviously farms have their own expectations, because they expect to establish an image or position in the marketplace, they affect to generate their sales, and they want to satisfy customers who are satisfied. So all these market strategy, consumer behavior, the whole process, we are going to explain in part 2 in detail. So this is the overview of chapter 1, what is consumer behavior, and what is the importance of consumer behavior, what are the aspects of consumer behavior, and how marketing strategy and consumer behaviors are integrated with each other. As we can see in this figure, the total product is clearly much more than the food and beverages that we see in this particular illustration, because it involves the experience as well. So marketers are basically focusing on more and more nowadays on selling experiences, as even more than the actual product and the services itself. So an experience occurs when a company intentionally creates a memorable event for the customers, while products and services can be like it's important for the customer. An experience is basically mostly an internal to each customer. Like we can say that a product and service is an external to the customer, whereas an experience is internal to the customer. And since these experiences exist in the mind, so if they are emotionally attached, they are physically or intellectually or even spiritually they are engaged to some kind of product, these experiences and exist in the mind of an individual. So let us now explore the components or the uh, blocks in the flowchart that we see, each phase of that particular figure. So first is the market analysis component. The important thing is the consumers. No, it is basically not possible to anticipate and react to consumer needs and their desires without a complete understanding of the consumer behavior. And since we have already discussed that discovering consumer need is a complex process, but marketing research is one way in which we can accomplish this task. And that marketing research is based upon the behavioral principles that guide the consumption behavior, and which we will cover in depth in the remainder of this particular course. A firm must also understand its own ability to meet the customer needs. Now, this involves the evaluation of all aspects of the firm, including its financial condition, including its the managerial staff, their skills, the capabilities of production, their R&D capabilities, their technological sophistication, things like their reputation, their marketing skills, and all these includes basically their if they can develop a new product, they are capable of developing a new product, how much advertising abilities they have. So, if they are not able to understand their strengths and weaknesses, it can cause some problems when it comes to the consumer's needs and requirements. And there are multiple case studies which say that if a product is not able to adopt to the new situation, for example, the case study of Motorola, as they were not able to adopt to the new versions of the smartphones, when iPhone was taking over, when the smartphone market was actually the phone market, the cell phone market was basically changes. So if they are not able to adopt to the new requirements, they may they may vanish, they may cease to exist. So it's also not possible if you don't understand your competition and you are able to meet the customer needs in a better way. So you need to understand the capabilities, the strategies, the new product development of your competitors, and for any marketing action, if you are gonna take, you need to understand that what is the firm that is going to affect you the most, what is the firm that you are going to affect the most, uh, what are the financial resources, the marketing strength of the your competitors, how they are going to respond to your new strategies. For example, if you decide to reduce your price, if you decide to increase your advertisement, if you decide to introduce a new product, how if even if you are new market entrants, if you're the first mover advantage, then how quickly another firm is going to catch up. So you need to understand a lot of things regarding your competitors. The final stage in the market analysis component are the conditions that prevails. For example, the state of the economy, the physical environment, the government regulation, how technology is changing. For example, AI is taking over things nowadays. So how it's going to affect the consumer needs, how it's going to affect the consumer expectation, how it's going to affect the company, the competitors' capabilities. All these conditions are very important because if you're not able to understand the condition in a holistic way, a firm cannot develop a sound marketing strategy. Uh, and there are a lot of examples that we can quote. For example, how COVID-19 changed the conditions. Everything was going so smooth. Then comes lots of bumps, bumpy roads ahead, and that was because of the condition.
Phase 2 towards marketing strategy and consumer behavior is perhaps the most important marketing decision which a firm needs to take is that which market segment it wants to select to serve. So, how we define a market segment? It is a portion of a larger market whose needs differ someone from the larger market, or it's a subset of a larger market. So, a firm may need to have a target product for that particular segment. And in a marketing situation, segment must be large enough so that there is enough profitability. However, with the advancement of technologies, there are things like flexible manufacturing and customized products that are allowing some mass customization, with which the firms can target smaller segments and even individuals as well. And this leads to the concept of behavioral marketing, or behavioral targeting, in which consumers' online activity is tracked and specific banner ads are delivered based on that activity. This is basically when in the era of the digital marketing, you can have a target market for particular segment. So there are 4 steps of market segmentation. Number 1 is identify product related need set. Number 2 is to group customers with a similar need set. Number 3 is to describe each group, and number 4 is to select an attractive segment to serve as. So what are product related need set? Organizations approach market segmentation with a set of its potential capabilities that and its current capabilities as well. So these capabilities may be a reputation a firm has for some particular product, an existing product that is a best selling product, a technology, or some kind of a skill the firm has. We define need set as the something that reflects the fact that most product in develop or economies in developed economies satisfied one or more need. So that is called a need set. And there are different needs that are associated with a particular product. For example, a watch. Previously a watch was actually for the time. Now it can be a status need as well. It can be a style need as well. And as the watch have evolved, it can be a need for fitness as well. So there can be a particular set of needs that exist for a particular product and for a particular services. So as you can see in these two ads, these two mini trucks, they are serving the different need set, or they are targeting the different need set. One can be for loading, a family need, loading a lot of luggage in the bed trunk, and the other one is with the muscles and powers, and they are like towing heavy things. So you can always see different products are actually serving the different need set of the customers. Identifying the various need sets that the firm's current or potential product might satisfy typically involves customer research, particularly focus groups, in-depth interviews, some kind of a logical and intuitive decisions. So these need sets are often associated with other variables, which includes age, life cycle, gender, social class, ethnic group, lifestyle, and this is basically the start of a segmentation process. So a firm might start by identifying various ethnic group and then attempt to discover what are the similarities and differences in the consumption need across these groups. And the firm would be actually targeting various groups in which there are similar needs, so that they can serve the greater portion of the population. And then segmentation can be made on the basis of many differences. This can be geographical differences, it can be a difference in demographics such as age, gender, income, education, and there are other demographics as well, for example marital status. And there can be a mixture of demographics like female married, female unmarried, male married, male unmarried, and it can be based upon the psychographics or psychological characteristics like personalities, values, lifestyle, activities, interests, opinions. And it can be a behavioral segment as well, like what is the reason to purchase, what is the usage of a particular product, what is the intent to use the product, what are the occasion the product is being bought. For festivals the product may have a different use as in the normal days. So the segmentation can be made upon many different attributes. Then the next step is to group consumers with a similar need set. For example, if someone is need for a funny sporty automobile that is shown in the picture, So it can be a young single individuals and young couple with no children, or middle aged couple who can afford and who does not have children, because this is a two-seater car and it is for the speed, for the race, for the style. So consumers can be clusters or grouped who have the similar needs, so that a particular company can offer its product to a larger chunk of the customer. And this basically involves things like consumer research, in which you need to identify that which customers have a similar need set. Similarly, like you can see the station wagon. This can be used for different purposes. It can be used as school vans. It can be for middle class family who have many children, because it's a low end van. And then it can be used as a loader, and it can be used as a distribution van. So there are different segments who have similar need set that can be identified. So once we have clustered these different need sets, then we can need to describe each group, which can be as we have already seen, that can be described in the terms of the need they are identified, or according to their demographics, according to their psychographics, according to their lifestyle, according to their location, according to their maybe media they are using to reach about the product. So we can have demographics like as we have already seen, like young couples with no children is one demographic, middle aged couples is another demographics. Similarly, young couples with no children is another demographic. So these can be different segments as well. And this is important as well, because when we are doing effective marketing, we need to reach these customers. We need to understand why they are using the product and how we are going to reach these customers. So what kind of media they are using? Are they online? Are they using the traditional media? Are they using the paper media, the print media, the electronic media? So how these customers are using a different media with which the products can be reached to them. And finally, the important aspect is that which segment to serve. So once we are sure that which segment is important for us, we need to identify that what is our target market, on which we will focus our marketing effort. So this decision is based upon many abilities of the firm, like ability to serve a particular customer and provide a customer value to them. It's also important, the size and the growth of the segment is also important. Like if the segment is not growing, or the segment is very small, there may not be it may incur a greater cost to serve that customer as compared to the profits that are going to get in return. Here you see a sample worksheet which a marketer can use to fill out as the most favorable segment that they want to serve, or what is the more attractive segment that they want to serve. The next step or the next phase is to devise the marketing strategy. It is not possible to select target markets without simultaneously formulating a general market strategy for each segment. So, a decisive criteria in selecting target market is the ability to provide superior value to all these market segments. Because customer value is delivered by the marketing strategy, so a firm must develop its general marketing strategy and also have a specific marketing strategy for each segment. So basically, marketing strategy is the answer to the question that how will we provide a superior customer value to our target market. The answer to this question requires the formulation of the marketing mix, or a consistent marketing mix, which composed of the products, the price, the communication, the distribution channel, and the services that are provided to the target market. And it is the combination of all these elements. So product is anything a consumer requires or might require to meet a perceived need. Consumers are generally buying products to satisfy some of their need, and it's not necessary that their physical attributes is something that attracts them, but however they are also important. For example, if someone is selling the cosmetics, they are actually they are selling the product itself, but the experience of that cosmetic or the result of that cosmetic, how will look good, is actually what it matters the most. So generally when we are talking about the product, we are talking about the physical products or the primary or the core services of an organization, and it can be an automobile can be a product. Similarly, a firm can have multiple products as well, or multiple types of products that or a range of products as we call it. These are automobiles. Similarly, these are Unilever products. It's a range of products they have. Or even if we're talking about an automobile, the spare parts are also a product, right? Similarly, a mechanic who is giving a transmission overhaul is a product. A ride in a taxi is a product. Products can be, thousands and thousands of products exist in the market. Next, product mix is communication. When we talk about communication, it includes the advertisement, it includes the sales force, it includes the public relations, the packaging of the products, and any other signals that actually the firm provides to the consumer about itself and the product. And what is the consideration of an effective marketing communication strategy is with whom exactly do we want to communicate these messages to, what is the target market members which who are focusing particularly, and what effect do we want our communication to have on the target audience, what is the purpose of the advertisement and other marketing communication. Like obviously the major purpose is to increase the sale, but there can be other purposes, like there can be societal perspective as well, the social marketing perspective as well, or just for the awareness of the consumers as well. Then the third consideration is what message will achieve the desired effect on our audience. What kind of the written content, the pictures, the symbols we can use to attract the audience or the consumers to the particular product. And developing an effective message strategies actually require a thorough understanding of the meanings of the target audience attached to the words and those symbols. And then fourth consideration is that what means and media are we going to use to reach the target audience. There can be multiple means and medias. For example, there can be like a paper media, print media, or it can be electronic media, the mass media that includes like television, radio, etc., or it can be internet, the digital media. And the final consideration is that what should we communicate with the target audience. Like it includes the message that actually we are sending to the target audience. The third marketing miss is the price, which is the amount of money one must pay to obtain the right to use the product. It can be ownership of a product, or it can be a limited usage right, like rental or leasing something, and it can be actually the price that we are paying to actually use a service. That can be the price as well. So price is basically something that you are paying for the product, so it amounts money. And consumer cost is everything the customer must surrender in order to receive the benefit of owning or using the product. So the cost of owning and using an automobile actually includes much more than actually using the automobile. It can be like the insurance, the gasoline, the maintenance, the license fees, the parking fees. So all these are actually the cost of using that particular product. Then comes the distribution channel, or having the product available where the customer can buy it. And there can be multiple channels, like it can be an in-store inventory, it can be a seasonal item that is available on a particular season, it can be an offline and an online, both channels, like an online delivery. So it includes the whole channel from where the products can be delivered. Finally, the services or the auxiliary or peripheral activities that are performed to enhance the primary product or the primary service. Now these services are important part of a whole product mix, because a firm can actually enhance its image when they are actually providing these auxiliary services. Sometimes these auxiliary services come free, along with the product. Sometimes you have to pay money to get those auxiliary services. And actually it's a whole a market strategy that firms do develop, that consider that what kind of after sale services they are going to provide for their products. It can be a free pickup and delivery services, it can be a maintenance services. So all these kind of services are actually part of the product mix that they need to consider while making their marketing strategies. So far we have discussed the marketing analysis component, the market segmentation, the market strategy, and the product mix. Then comes the consumer decision making process, which basically intervenes between the marketing strategies, which is implemented in the form of the marketing mix, and the outcomes. Outcomes can be individual outcomes, society outcomes, and the firm outcome. And now these outcomes are actually determined by the firm's marketing strategy, but the consumer decision process obviously plays a role. A firm can only succeed if consumers see that a need is being satisfied with the product, or the problem is being solved by the product. They have become aware of the product, they become aware of the capabilities of the product, they decide what is the best available solution, they proceed to purchase it, and they become satisfied with the result of their purchase. So this we are going to understand these consumer decision process in detail later on. Let's quickly look at the outcomes that is affected by the consumer decision process. First is the firm's outcome. The firm outcomes are basically how the consumer decision process affects the firm. First of all, it affects the product positioning or the image of the product or brand in the consumer's mind, which is relative to the available brands and products in the market. And most firms actually want to see their product position at higher level, and they use it to measure the success of a particular product. And the second outcome is the sales and the profit. The more is the customer's tendency to purchase a product, the greater will be sales and profit. And these sales and revenues actually helps a firm grow. And finally, the customer satisfaction is a firm become more profitable if they can maintain their existing customer, if they can create a loyal customers, because creating a satisfied customer means that they are going to repurchase the product, and they are going to expect something that is if a firm launches a new product or a new version, they are going to return back to purchase it. So to create a customer, a satisfied customer, a superior value should be provided, and the superior value should be perceived as well. So if the superior value is provided and it is expected, and the sales will be greater, and the perceived value is also delivered, so a customer will be more satisfied. Just because of sales are high and perceived value is not delivered, you will not going to get a satisfied customer. At individual level, the first thing is that a need is being satisfied with the process. So needs can be like the actual need, and needs can be a perceived need, or a need that a person thinks that they have a need, but it's not an actual need. And both should be fulfilled, because if someone feels that their perceived need is not fulfilled, they are not going to repurchase the product. But this also comes to the concept of injurious consumptions, when individuals or group make consumption decisions that have a negative consequences for their long-term well-being. So too much focus on the benefit of consumption can lead to the dark side of consumption as well. They can engage in activities which are not good for them, for example products that are not good for their health, for example gambling, which can have a severe financial negative consequences. So individual outcomes are important consideration in consumer behavior. Finally, the society based outcomes, which can be economic outcomes. What is the overall impact of a particular product, what is the impact of a product or a service on the economic growth of the country, on the employment of the country, on the GDP of the country, on the foreign direct investment of the country, on the these kind of outcomes are important. How much foreign currency is being used, foreign reserves are being utilized for a particular product. Physical environment outcomes are very important consideration. That is one of the reasons electric vehicles are gaining popularity, because supposedly people think that they are better for our environment as compared to the traditional cars. Then social welfare is a very important consideration. How a marketing company is involved in the social marketing, what good things or customer services they are providing, or the CSR activities they are doing, corporate social responsibility they are showing. So these are important consideration at the society level. Finally, we're going to look at the consumer behaviors conceptual model. This is the model that is going to guide us for the rest of the this course, because on the left hand side you can see that we have the antecedents, which are the external influences, and the internal influences, which leads to the formation of a self concept and lifestyle within for the consumers, and which leads to their purchase decision, which is also based upon the situations, that how are they going to purchase their product. And these external influences can be at many level, these internal influences can be in many level, and we are going to see in details how these particular influences leads to the concept of an individual's feeling about himself or herself, or about their lifestyle, that how they live, and how these consumer decision processes actually leads to the solution of a problem that they have. And obviously all these external and internal influences are actually affecting the consumer decision processes, but when they are going to make decision, there are again the steps that they are going to follow, leading to the actual decision to purchase or not to purchase a particular product. Finally, let's understand that consumer behavior is not only a complex process, it's also very dynamic. So with the changing circumstances or changing environment or changing situation, it also changes. For instance, everything nowadays is available online as well as offline. Every product is available online, offline as well, so both presence are important. There is a less in-person interaction or view of exchange in physical, and there is increased usage of social media online. And it has been seen that impulsive purchasing behavior is now norm of the day. People do regret after they have made purchase, and all this because of the COVID-19. So anything that changes the whole global scenario is also changing the consumer behavior as well. Since consumer behavior is about why people make some consumption decision, so let's understand the meaning of consumption. Consumption is basically a process. It's a dynamic process which extend beyond the transaction itself to involve identity and the self-expression. It can be defined as all facets of the consumer behavior process, which include how we observe and make sense of the world around us, how we choose and purchase things, and how we communicate our identity and sense of self in a society. So understanding consumer behavior is actually understanding the consumption processes, and it is actually means a good business, as we have already discussed.